to the Most High, our Father, Yahuwah of hosts, by way of Yahushua HaMashiach, our Lord and Savior, and we'll look at John 5:39. I'll try to be as brief as possible. It's 7:50. We look at John 5:39. And it says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, that I know you, that you have not the love of the Most High in you. And you know, as we were just talking about before we started, if grown man around here having orgies, you know what I'm talking about? You doing that type of stuff? Well, how the love of God in you? How is that possible? See, again, I want y'all to look at something, and we're going to go look at, we done looked at him before, we're going to look at him again. Look at 1 Kings chapter 22. And to get your Deuteronomy 32 and about 18, maybe 17, go along with it. About what I'm telling y'all about. You got to be careful, because the man been done give you over to a mind that you don't want nothing to do with. So I want you to look at 1 Kings 22 and about verse 6. And after we read, and I'll let you know what we're going to drop down. Y'all familiar with the story, but sometimes you got to look at stuff to bring stuff to your remembering of what I'm talking about. Because the mind you have is the mind the Lord give you. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hey, you're gonna have to get back with me, because I done started preaching, man. You're gonna have to get back with me. I done started preaching. Yep. All right, y'all. Verse 6 of 1 Kings 22. Then the king of Yasharal gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of Yahuwah besides, that we might inquire of him? And the king of Yasharal said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah the son of Emilah, by whom we may inquire of Yahuwah. But I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. So you see, the key thing is, he said, there's a prophet here, but I don't like him, because he say what the book say. Hold what you got, this 1 Kings 22 and Deuteronomy 32 and 17, and get John chapter 9. And after we get John chapter 9, get you 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Now, if Micaiah the son of Emilah is a prophet of Yah, what does that tell you, gentlemen? What's the first thing should come to your mind if you see that he's a prophet of Yah? I'm sorry, get John chapter 7, my apologies, and about verse 5 or verse 6. What do y'all think? If he's a prophet of Yah, what's one of the things that he would have to have if he's a prophet of Yah? What would he have to have with him? Come on, gentlemen, type. He got to have the spirit of Yah on him. So if he turn around and say, I don't like what he got to say, because he prophesied evil on me. Matter of fact, before we didn't, because he said I don't like what he say because he prophesied evil, right? Hold John chapter 7, get your 2 Peter chapter 2 and about verse 19. Let me look at it. Let me establish what I'm talking about. Before we even get to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, let me establish what I'm talking about. Listen to what the man says. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereon to you do well that you take heed. Now you notice that King Jehoshaphat, the king of Yasharal, said, I don't like this dude, because he prophesied evil concerning me. Well, why would he prophesy evil concerning the king? What would be the reason why this prophet would speak evil things against this king? Why would he do that? Huh? Because he's disobedient. So he just said, but we got a more sure word of prophecy. You might do well if you listen. Now you're going to turn around and you're going to see Micaiah going to tell this man to do something, and this nigga's not going to listen. He said, we have a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shine in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star rise in your hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation. For prophecy came not in the old time by the will of man, but Kodesh men of Elohim spake as they were moved by the Ruach HaKodesh. So that means any prophecy that came, it didn't come because that's what these men wanted to say. They said what God told them to say. Even when we look at Balaam, he said, I can't say no more than what y'all tell me to say. Can't say no less, can't say no more. Now come on back to John chapter 7. Because he said, I don't like Micah because he testified evil of me. He speak evil of me when he see me. John 7:5. We'll make it 6. John 7:6. Then Yahushua said unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready. The world cannot hate you, but me it hate, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. Now, don't that sound like the very reason why the king of Yasharal said he didn't like Micaiah? Because he said every time he spoke to me, he spoke evil of me. Ain't that what it said? Then he clearly just said, I hate this man. That's exactly what he just said. I hate this man because when he speak evil of me. Well, the Lord just turned around and said the same thing. So guess who he'd be a similitude of? I hate this man because when he speak, he testify evil of me. This is why when you turn around with sinners, and I was talking to Link about this when we were in the gym, and I'm going to show you this too, because I heard a white dude saying something about that lady in Kentucky. And we got to look at that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you something about that lady in Kentucky. Ain't nothing wrong with her standing up and saying, I ain't going to marry no faggots. I ain't going to marry no bulldaggers. It's something wrong when you stand up and say, but you'll marry somebody on their third or fourth marriage, though. You know what I'm saying? See, you's a hypocrite. See, if you're going to stand on the word, then stand on it. Don't pick and choose and say, I ain't going to marry no punk. You know what I'm saying? But you'll marry this nigga over here, though. You know what I'm talking about? That's hypocrisy. Come over here to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, about verse 6. Make it about verse 1, because it's going to go into what we talking about, because that stuff what them niggas over there doing, that's just outright nasty. And after we look at that there, we're going to get back to 1 Kings chapter 22 and Deuteronomy 32, y'all permitting. Get your Amos chapter 5, too. Matter of fact, pardon me, not Amos chapter 5, Amos chapter 2. I want to say about verse 7. We'll see what it say when we get there, because these niggas nasty around here talking about wife swapping. I don't know how in the world you say you a man and y'all talking about we going to wife swap. You know what I'm talking about? We having orgies. Oh, but we gonna get to it. Don't worry about it. We get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna run it down. We're gonna run it down. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 1. He say, furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, exhort you by the Lord Yahushua, that as you have received of us how you ought to walk and please God, so you would abound more and more. See, that's the whole key thing. You have received of me how you ought to walk and please God. Ain't now one of you women can sit here and tell anybody and be telling the truth. I done came in your ear talking about, boy, I want you to be my third and fourth wife. I want 3, 4 wives. Or and can't none of these men tell you in truth that I told them that that's permissible. Ain't none of you women gonna be able to tell I've been in your ear talking about let's go get freaky or have orgies or much less tell anybody about no wife swapping. That's pure perversion. You know what I'm talking about? How did it even come across your mind to teach that to somebody or tell them that it's right? He say, for ye know what commandments we gave you by the Lord Yahushua. For this is the will of Elohim, even your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication. Now, when we looked at them, remember a while back we were looking at some of them sexual laws in Leviticus 20. Remember we were looking at some of that stuff? See, come on back over to Leviticus 20. Because he say, this is the will of the Most High, even your sanctification. And what does sanctification mean again, gentlemen? Because I'm not sure. I might need somebody to remind. It means to be set apart, right? Set apart, right? Now, let's sit back and look at something. I want you to look at Leviticus 20 and 22. Now, we know all the stuff that's in here. Hold on. Before we read Leviticus 22, I might as well go on and get verse 13 while we're here. Because this same congregation told a woman she could put her mouth on another woman's vagina and it wasn't sin because they were married. Because they were sister wives. Look what verse 13 say. If a man also lie with mankind as he lay with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death, and their blood shall be upon them. Now, if it's wrong for a man to do it, ain't it wrong for a woman too? I done heard dudes, I done heard dudes say it ain't wrong for a woman to do it because he ain't say it was wrong for a woman to do it. You idiotic fool. Leviticus 24 and 22 say one man of law for you and for the stranger. So it was good for the goose, good for the gander. If the same law go for a man, it go for a woman. Same way he told a man don't put on what a woman wear, he told a woman don't put on what a man wear. These dudes will tell you a woman can dress like a man and put on pants, but a man can't cross dress. So gentlemen, what does that be right there? If a woman can lay with a woman, but a man can't lay with a man, what is that right there according to our word, according to our law? What is that? Not only just hypocrisy, ain't that a false weight and a false balance? That's a false weight and a false balance. That's unjust judgment. Hypocrisy is correct too, Corey. You ain't wrong on that by no means. You know what I'm saying? I just was looking for something specific, but you're not wrong. Because that definitely is hypocrisy. And you know if you got hypocrisy, you basically said what I wanted to say, just use a different term. Because basically if you're a hypocrite, your balance is off. Your weight is off, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now drop down to verse 22, because you all know all the other stuff it say, don't touch no beast, and don't lie with no sister, no all that type of stuff. Nigga just nasty. Nigga, if you want to go be freaky in the world. Don't try to come in the house of the Lord and be no freak. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, when it come time to serve y'all, man, all the freaky stuff you did, that's over with. You were blowing booty, no more booty blowing. You know what I'm saying? You were bobbing for apples, keep your head out the bucket. You know what I'm talking about? If you like to lick on candy, guess what? Better get some fruit. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no more butt plugging no more. Definitely ain't no orgies and swinging. What's Kodesh about that? Verse 22. He said, you shall therefore keep all my statutes and my judgments and do them. Just like Paul said in 1 Thessalonians, ain't it? That the land whither I bring you to dwell therein, spew you not out. Hold on now. He said, you better do everything I say so the land don't spit you out, right? Hold what you got. Come over here to Revelation chapter 3. We gonna come back to this real fast. I didn't want you to hear what the Lord said. That man said, you better do everything I tell you to do so the land don't spit you out. And we come right back to Leviticus chapter 20. Look what this man said in Revelation 3 and 15. Look what this man say in Revelation 3 and 15. Boy, some of y'all better thank the Lord, boy. Better thank the Lord. It's real easy. It's real easy to get caught up in some junk. He says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. So then, because thou art a lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Because remember we dealt with this before. Ain't a Mashiach the land too? Ain't the stuff pertaining to the land he that too? So that man said, if you don't want to keep all these laws and all these statutes like I commanded thee, I will spit you out. You will be expelled. Come on back to the law now, Leviticus chapter 20. Listen to verse 23 and listen to what he says. And you shall not walk in the manner of the nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. So these niggas around here, and for Brother Sean, so you know, I had a young woman, she called me. They were part of a group called Israel Heritage, the Israelite Heritage. I don't know what the name was. If it wasn't for Pasha, I wouldn't know who these niggas was. Ain't never heard of them. Don't particularly care after this information to ever know of them. You know what I'm saying? Young woman say, hey man, these niggas coming from a throat because they wife swapping. They having orgies. They practicing lesbianism. Multiple wives. Practicing witchcraft. And now that I done spoke out on it, I'm a Jezebel. I got a wicked spirit on me. You know what I'm saying? All because I done bear witness that your deeds are evil. I'm telling you right now. Y'all know full well we don't go for none of that type of stuff. I don't know about none of y'all. I catch you niggas while around here getting freaky, having orgies, wife swapping. You know, don't you never come around me. You's a dirty dog. When I say dirty dog, y'all know that is what the Lord told that woman in Matthew 15, what he called her. Y'all know what he called that woman in Matthew 15? That Canaanite woman called her a dog. Know why he called her a dog? Because she was uncircumcised from the uncircumcision. You know in Jeremiah chapter 9, he say, you know, Egypt, Ammon, and Edom, they uncircumcised in the flesh. He say, but Yasharal and Yehudah is uncircumcised in the heart. You living like a dog. You know what I'm saying? Living like a dog, just filthy and nasty and disgusting. Because I don't care for dogs, they stink. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. Carry all type of vermin and fleas with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real though. I ain't never cared for no dog. Boy, me and Lil Muffin on that there. Every time that dog come around here, Lil Muffin like, man, look here. We don't play that stuff walking the house. You know it's something serious when you be on eBay and everybody on eBay let it come from a pet-free home. Smoke-free home. Because people know them dogs stink, and that stinkness get in everything. Your furniture be stink, your carpet stink, your walls stink, your clothes stink, your refrigerator gets stink. Just walk in here and smell dog. You walk in the house, your whole face just ball up with anger, smell like dog in here. You know what I'm saying? That's the same way you supposed to be looking at the ways of the nations. According to Most High, they dogs. So you supposed to look at anything they roll with and anything they do, man, that ought to disgust you. The same way the smell of a dog disgusts a human being's nose. If somebody like the smell of a dog, that person is sick. That's just my opinion. It's my opinion. If you can walk in a room and take in the scent of a canine and say that smells delightful, I don't believe you're human. That's just me. Because they stink to me. I can't stand the smell of no dog. Make my stomach turn. You in the house just spraying lights all everywhere trying to kill it. You know what I'm saying? Got Febreze all in the carpet. I'm telling you, some of y'all know I ain't lying. Verse 24. Some of y'all like them dogs. Be like, I don't like that nigga. Talking about my dog. Yeah, your dog stink. I said it, he stink. You know what I'm saying? But I said unto you, you shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it in a land that flow with milk and honey. I am YAHUAH your Elohim, which have separated you from other people. You shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, between unclean fowls and clean. You shall not make your soul abominable by beast or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creep on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And ye shall be Kodesh unto me. For I, YAHUAH, am Kodesh, and have severed you from other people, that you should be mine. So when we come back around here to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, that sounds like that's the will of the Most High according to the law then, ain't it? Huh? So that means you ain't got no business participating in that type of stuff. Come on back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3. I can't even see, and the word part is, and that's what I mean when I be telling y'all, and I don't be saying that to be mean toward women. That's what I mean to say, not all women, but that's what I mean when I say a majority of women are gullible. You know what I'm saying? Because they going to play on your emotions, especially they know a lot of women, you want to serve God. Or you might have a desire to do it. So they going to play on that. You know what I'm saying? And make you think, because T can tell you, if you ask her yourself. Then tell her, oh, you jealous, you going to go to hell if you can't accept like this here. That's playing on your emotion. You know what I'm talking about? That's the purpose of that. Throwing them things out there where you will relent and be cool with having 4 or 5 different women in here with you. This woman told me, that nigga say you don't know, you might have one wife who can cook, another wife who can clean, another wife who can do the laundry. I said, no, I just need one woman. She better take cooking classes. If she can't wash clothes, she already in trouble. And if she can't clean the house, I don't know what you want to marry her staying behind for anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I done told y'all how I feel about a woman don't clean her house. Her vagina ain't clean. You know what I'm saying? I believe that wholeheartedly. And I believe that from experience. You know what I'm talking about? When you see a woman house real nasty all the time, boy, there's a strong likelihood her vagina is nasty. Because if she don't even have the wherewithal, the drive and desire to keep her living quarters clean, I know she ain't gonna have the drive and desire to keep her body clean, which in all intents and purposes is still her living quarters. You know what I'm talking about? That's no different is, okay, you know men got reputations for being sloppy. You know what I'm saying? This, that, there, and other. At the same time, most men may not be, stop! Most men may not be neat freaks. But if you see a nigga live real, like extra sloppy, oh, that nigga can't bathe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if he do, he take a bird bath. Just like you know the quote-unquote hoe bath. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, natural stuff spilling the spiritual stuff. Yeah, look at that type of stuff, man. Why would you sit back and say, I need another wife to clean? So you mean you got 3 dirty hoes living with you? Sit back and think about it. You married 3 hoes that couldn't clean because you got to be a hoe you don't get up clean your house. That's how I look at it. You was a worthless hoe. Can't be no woman. There's no way I could utter the word and say you are a woman and you don't want to get up and clean your house. As a woman, you would want that pride and respect. Now, also, I know some of y'all like to say, man, we got the reality of knowing if you got kids, you clean your house and it'd be a whirlwind 5 minutes later. You know what I'm talking about? But the fact, dog, if the whirlwind hit, do you let it stay that way? You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all done walked in somebody's house and you be like, you know what? I'll wait outside. And I ain't talking about because you got ridiculous thoughts of what somebody's house should be clean. Well, I done walked in, niggas done opened like squalor. Squalor. And they ain't on drugs. You know what I'm telling you? Boy, I knew a woman, boy, you walked in a house straight squalor. Nigga like this here, like, boy, I was going to come in here and smoke a joint. I think I'm going to wait outside. I'll take my chances to get caught by the police smoking this weed than to come into the safety of your house and smoke it. You know how serious that is? You're really going to jail because nigga house that dirty. Nigga talking about they want to fix you something to eat. You like, you know what, I'm good. Talking about I got some plate. Nigga like they said, ain't got no clean plates. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing in the world is to walk into somebody's house, boy, and look in that sink and see that she done had dishes in there, and you can tell them dishes been over there 7 days. You can tell if dishes been in there a day. See, I can't let dishes sit in the sink for over a day, because my mom used to snap about that. Somebody was going to get beat. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was going to get beat. You know what I'm saying? If she walked in there and seen a whole bunch of dishes and be like, I ain't used all, I didn't ask who used them. How could you see them and not wash them? That's how she rolled. But boy, you got some of these hoes, boy, they'll have a whole mountain in they sink, and that stuff sitting there 6, 7 days. You know what I'm saying? Food done dried up on the forks and spoons so hard, boy, it's gonna take real live Brillo pad to get that stuff off. They say you gotta soak all the utensils in bleach for weeks. That ain't cool, man. 1 Thessalonians 4:3, that ain't cool, man. But at the same time, I'm using this analogy of all that filthiness in somebody's house. That's how some of these people insides is and they physical tabernacle that they live in. They got dirty dishes in their house. You know what I'm saying? Got stuff strode all over the way, but it's inwardly. So you got to sit back and we got to clean that stuff up. That's why Paul said, let us cleanse ourselves from all the filthiness of the flesh and spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to sit back and look at. You got to cleanse yourself, because that is a filthy, disgusting, vile heart. Got to sit back and say, boy, I can have sex with your wife and you can have sex with mine. How many of you brothers would be cool watching another man or knowing another man having sex with your wife? You know what I'm saying? And what type of woman would that be where she would be comfortable enough to let another man in her vagina knowing her husband is viewing or nearby? Straight up. Stone cold slut. First Thessalonians 4:3, for this is the will of the Most High, even your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication. That everyone, stop. That every one of you should know how to possess his vessel and sanctification and honor. That's what the law was telling you. Stop. You should know how to possess your body and respect it.
Stop. Take this word back.
You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to respect your body. You know that's the #1 thing that has destroyed our people, especially our young women, because ain't nobody sit back and teach these young women how to respect their body. You know what I'm saying? I see these dudes, everybody getting upset. Somebody been putting up a picture of some lady with 4 kids. You know what I'm talking about? And they, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, this like buying a 2015 with 200,000 miles. And most people were looking at the picture and they was like, they don't know the lady's story. And it's probably not what the point of I already know what the person whoever made the meme, what the point of the photograph is. It's not actually about the woman specifically. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she might be married. She might be all this type of stuff, you know, people come up with. And another one was like, she think you ought to chase her. And she got these 4 kids. What the point of it was is, and it's just being honest, no matter if women like it or they don't like it. When a man see a woman and he sees she got a lot of kids and he finds out that she's single, you know what I'm talking about? The first thing he want to ascertain is how many different men are these children from. You know what I'm saying? If she telling they from the same man, his viewpoint of that woman will change and shift dramatically. You know what I'm saying? Okay, boom, boom, boom. If she telling they from two men, his outlook on that woman will change a little bit. But when he hears 3 or 4, he gonna look at her and be like, well, she is a hoe. And then he gonna be looking at, if 3, 4 men went up in you raw and impregnated you, how many other men did you let go up in you raw and they released their seed in you? So the next thing that's gonna cycle in his mind is, she got to have a lot of mileage on her vagina. You know what I'm talking about? That was the point of it. Not the specific woman, because that's how men look. Because I just seen a brother talking about this here. A man could be a hoe and a woman will not hold that against him. Because she look at it as he was desirable, he's sexually experienced, you know what I'm saying? This, that, there, and the other. A woman will look at, well, a man shouldn't hold my wholeness against me, especially if I'm not a hoe no more. Men don't operate like that. They just don't operate like that. The reason being, and I've told y'all this before, because with a man, he is penetrating. You know what I'm talking about? With a woman, you being penetrated. You know what I'm saying? So when a man look at it's many different men been down that road, he doesn't particularly care to want that. You know what I'm saying? And then the point of what he was talking about, you'll see women, she's single, she got all these kids, and you thinking a man ought to chase you. Not every woman who got kids think that way, but a lot do. You know what I'm saying? And if you looking at a man who doesn't have any kids, why would I chase you? You know what I'm saying? No matter how good you look, no matter what you got going on for yourself, why would I want to come in a situation where I'm responsible for 4 kids and you? Because these people been going hard about their photograph. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody really break it down to nobody, which I wasn't finna go through it and do it because I didn't want to go back and forth with nobody about what the intent, because I know what he meant. Because I done had conversations like this before the word like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? Oh no. Because we know the woman background. You know what I'm saying? Not the fact that she got 3, 4 kids, but we know her background. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter how fine she is. I know girls who ain't got no kids that are fine like that, pretty like that, but they ran through. And you like, no, I'm good. I would have sex with her. I wouldn't marry her. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to start a life with you. Because this is how men think. That doesn't mean that if a woman had a past like that and she ceased from it, that somebody wouldn't want her. Doesn't mean that she got kids, whether they from 1 man or 17 men, that somebody wouldn't deal with it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I know a woman right now, I met her. This woman got 10 kids from 10 men. No lie. Straight up. I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it myself. My homeboy brother was dating this woman. He took me around there to this woman's house. 10 kids, 10 different men. Real talk. I seen this with my own 2 eyes. You know what I'm saying? I seen that with my own 2 eyes. I mean, but he dealt with it though. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that ain't nobody gonna do it. You know what I'm talking about? But you got to realize is how a man's outlook is different. It's different. It just is. I know somebody was saying, well, that's a double standard. Unfortunately, it is, but that's reality, though. That's never going to change. You know what I'm saying? A woman is never going to be applauded or lauded for having multiple sexual partners like a man is. It's never going to happen. We know by dealing with the word, man or woman, it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Both of you niggas nasty. But like I done told y'all before, if it came up and you had a daughter, and she was a hoe, having a lot of sexual partners, a man would be hurt. You know what I'm saying? If he found out that his son was a hoe and had multiple sexual partners, he gonna be like, that's my boy. That's my boy. He gonna be patted on his back. You know what I'm saying? Both of them are defiled. Both of them are vile before God. But the outlook of how people gonna view them is different. You know what I'm saying? I wish I can't tell y'all women that a man gonna look at you in a different way on that, because I be lying to you. You know what I'm saying? I'll be lying to you. And y'all women know that. If you hear about a man having a lot of sexual partners, or how we were just the other day, we were messing with Corey, when he was like, nigga, I got references. And you hear women talk about this man's sexual prowess, for a lot of women, that is intriguing for them, and they want to find out, is it so? And then if it's so, then they don't want nobody else to have that. They try to keep it to themselves. Now realizing this man is a hoe. You know what I'm saying? This man is going to continue to be a hoe. And this woman will go crazy trying to break her neck to try to stop this man from being a hoe, and you can't stop him. And I'm saying all this for this reason, because when these niggas come in this word, these niggas be hoes. You know what I'm saying? And to continue they whore them, they got to convince you women to go for multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? So they can keep being hoes. This is why they press this on y'all and push that on y'all, because they hoes. And they know they can't come in this thing and be like, I'm sleeping with this woman, I'm sleeping with this woman, I'm sleeping with this woman, I'm sleeping with this woman. They know they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But if I can get you to say, hey, I need y'all to be sister wives, and I got 4, 5, 6, 7 wives, then they feel like you'll go for that. A lot of these niggas be having all these wives, and the wives are taking care of him. He ain't taking care of them. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas will sit up and say, I'm preaching the word. That's my job. And the women go out, they pay all the rent, all the light bills. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga on Facebook and Instagram all day long, arguing with niggas. Trying to take on another, and looking for another wife. See, they laughing because they know I ain't lying, because they know dudes like that. And looking for, and looking for another wife. And looking for another wife. Another one. You know what I'm saying? So y'all had to be careful for that. I'm sitting here telling y'all also too, to reiterate this here, man. If you serious, and I'm talking to the men and to everybody, if you had a past of living a particular way, if you're serious about what you're doing, you know what I'm talking about? And your character and your standard meets the standards of the word, if a man is genuine and he actually like you and your personality, that stuff ain't gonna mean nothing to him if you've been converted. You know what I'm saying? But don't get upset if, hey, male or female, you look the potential person you talking to in the face and say, hey man, I've been around, and that person don't choose to mess with you. You're gonna have to be able to respect that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be able to be an adult and mature enough to understand where they coming from. You know what I'm saying? Because that might be too much for some people to handle. Some people can handle it, some can't. You know what I'm saying? You got women that might pop up and you be like, yeah, I've been with 45 women. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real though. Because you got some women be like, I don't want no whorish man. I'm straight. It's just you hear the other end with a man saying he don't want to hear a whorish woman more because men voice it more. You know what I'm talking about? You got some women that ain't with that stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you been with how many women? Well, that thing ain't fell off yet? I'm good. You got women be like, I got 4 babies from 4 different baby mamas. And she be like, they say, oh no, nigga, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? It's not one-sided. It's just you only see one side of the coin. You know what I'm saying? Because you got men got 3, 4 babies from different women. I know a lot of women like, I'm not putting up with that. They whole keep thinking, I don't want the baby mama drunk. Ain't just like that. I ain't finna be around here taking care of 3, 4 different kids. What if I ain't had no kids? You know what I'm talking about? I'm straight on that. And you gotta respect a person's decision on that. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at somebody if they come in a situation, male or female, the person got kids already, and they say, you know what? I don't want to take that on. I told y'all before coming up, I wasn't never too keen to talking to a woman that had kids for only one reason. Because you didn't want to start dealing with that woman, you get close with them children, and then you separate from that woman, that hurt them kids. I would think about them. All the extra stuff that didn't really bother me. You know what I'm saying? If you know a woman a hoe and you're going to deal with her, and you can accept that, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? No matter what other people clowning and talk about, if you can accept it, more power to, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I had the wherewithal to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? I don't know if I could deal with that. Thank the Lord that he had the wherewithal to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons, like I done said this before to people in the past. I want to read you look at the Lord and be glad the Lord, not a man like us. Because the average man ain't taking back no adulterous woman. You know what I'm saying? He ain't taking back no adulterous woman. He took his adulterous wife, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm telling y'all, the women, the men, especially the women, because we frame it in the framework of, the Lord taking his wife back. Don't think that you can't get nobody. You got to be patient. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of times you be worrying about being in love and getting somebody and having a companion, or you might see other people getting a companion. It might not be time for you to have no companion. And the Lord already know it ain't no time for you to have no companion. And it's along the lines of what we talking about. But if you keep on pushing for something when the Lord's showing you ain't no time for you to do it, he gonna go ahead and give it to you, and it's gonna be for your destruction. It ain't gonna be for your good. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it might be. If something been showed to you, don't knock. But you don't want to hear that because you want what you want. He gonna give you what you want. And what you want ain't gonna be for your good. Sometimes you gotta stop thinking you smarter than the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Because boy, he know better, he know what's good for you better than your own self. Sometimes we forget that. Verse 4. Let every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor, not in the lust of conspicuance, even as the heathen which know not Elohim. Ain't that what we just read in Leviticus? They didn't know him. That's why they were doing all that nasty, freaky stuff. They didn't know him. You know Psalms 137 saying, his statutes and judgments, they have not known them. So them people didn't know, man, it's not right to sleep with your sister. It's not right to sleep with your mama. It's not right to be having threesomes and foursomes. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't right for you to be running no train. It ain't right for you to be no faggot. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't right. So when you turn around and you see grown men having sex orgies and then get up in the morning and preach on Shabbat, you know he can't know the Most High. Nasty bastard. You know what I'm talking about? That's a nasty individual. We know just being in the world, you sit back and say, you ain't going to say nasty as a for to being defiled of sin, but you're going to be like, that nigga nasty. Because you know he a freak. Anytime you talk about freaks, that's the first thing come out your mouth. She nasty. He nasty. Because it's already subliminally in our mind. We already know in our mind this stuff ain't right. You know what I'm saying? We already know this stuff ain't right. Then what it says, that no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any matter. For the Lord is the avenger of all such, as we also have forewarned you and testified. For the Most High have not called us unto uncleanliness, but unto kodesh. Just like we read in the law. I'm letting you women know. Come on, Lizzie. Come on. You gonna stop? You all right? Hold on, y'all. This gonna flip right on the dome. Come on, I can't let you get on camera. You just running around here like you're gonna use the toilet, but you ain't finna use no toilet. This is what I'm telling y'all. And like I told you, man, any of you women, man come telling you, talking about some multiple wives, don't even listen. Nigga come around here talking about because you know it's wrong. Not because I'm telling you not to listen, because you know what the words say. You know what I'm talking about? If you sit there and entertain it, you are an idiot. Man come trying to talk to you about fornicating. You know the man married and he trying to or trying to talk to you and you entertain stuff you know is inappropriate. Nigga come talking about wife swapping. You are an idiot. You are a dummy. Cause you know what the words say. You don't know what, not because I say it, because you know what the words say. So if you sit back and say that you are an upright individual, then certain stuff you shouldn't even entertain. The conversation shouldn't even get off the ground. Because that's how the devil gets you. We done already been through that there. All he needs is for you to sit there and entertain it. You know what I'm talking about? Sit there and have a conversation with it. And a nigga can talk to you long enough, and they talk to you long enough, and the next thing you know, you giving credence to it. You ain't gonna never hear me preaching about no sister wives. You ain't gonna never hear me preaching about no wife swapping. Definitely ain't gonna hear me preaching about you can have two wives and they can go down on each other. Go for no nasty junk like that. Look at verse 8 though. He therefore that despise not man, but Elohim, who have also given unto us his Ruach HaKodesh. So who the king of Yasharal in 1 Kings 22, who did he really hate? That's who he really hated. And what did the Lord say in John 15? He said, he that hated me hated who? Let's look at John 15:22 before we look at Amos chapter 2. Come back to 1 Kings 22 and then check out Deuteronomy 32. Where we at? About 38 minutes. I ain't trying to be too long. It's another matter I got to talk to y'all about too. We get that in. But I got to talk to you about this here. That's why I'm going to be brief. Sit down, Stanks. 15 and 22. Matter of fact, make it 20. Make it 19. Make it 18. Look what he tell you. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I've chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Don't you sit back and realize when we go back and look at Micaiah, the son of Emilah, that because he was not of the king and of his court and of his prophets, that they hated him because he had been chosen and separated from them? He say, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hate me, hate my Father also. And I'm trying to mail about 2-3 things in one. Come on back to Amos chapter 2. Let me show you how running a train is a sin. And around here having orgies is a sin. The nasty buzzards. You know what I'm talking about? How could a nigga even get up and say that out of his mouth? Even think it's right? How is that possible? Amos 2 and 5. Well, 2 and 6. Amos 2 and 6. Well, you have to watch these people, man. There's a lot of people out here, man. Like, let me tell you something. The Most High got preachers everywhere. And you should be able to hear the Lord's voice. And you should know full well that the Lord ain't stamping no nasty nigga talking about having no orgy. Y'all know that, right? I'll take that as a no. Amos 2 and 6. Thus saith Yahuwah, for 3 transgressions of Yasharal, and for 4, I will not turn away from the punishment thereof. I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they sold the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of shoes, that pant after the dust of the earth on the head of the poor, and turn aside the way of the meek. And a man and his father will go in unto the same maid to profane my Kodesh name. Now, what you think that mean if he say to go into the same maid, gentlemen? What is he talking about? Anybody. Come on now, y'all tighten up, man. If he say they profane, they go into the same maid and make my Kodesh name common, what did he just tell these people? Or what he said, I will not turn away the punishment there. They running trains on. They sleeping with the same woman. Don't you know if you wife swapping, you going in the same maid, don't you know you making this man name common? Come over here, Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 1. Let's look at another place where he tell you this here, man. That stuff ain't right, man. The book gonna condemn that stuff. That stuff there, that's nasty. I just don't want y'all to hear this. He be like this here, man. Well, I know it's wrong. I want you to see it's wrong. Jeremiah 9 and 1, look what he say. Oh, that my head were waters and my eye a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I may leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers and an assembly of treacherous men. Now you turn around and look at that. You know what an assembly is, right? Come on now, tighten up. I know you know the answer. I know it's a simple question, but I want to hear you say, you know what an assembly is, right? What's the other word for it then, gentlemen? A body, a congregation. And we talking about a congregation where these men say it's all right for you to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wives. It's all right for you to wife swap. It's all right for you to eat vagina. Because you know if they got the women telling the women to do it, you know the men doing it. So that means you know the women putting men penises in their mouth. Don't that sound like, and don't you know if you wife swapping, you committing adultery? Because you're laying with somebody that's not your wife. Is that not adultery? So that sounds like to me, book condemning what they doing. What y'all think? Huh? He said another place in Jeremiah, that man told you, he said they neigh after their neighbor's wife. Y'all know what that mean? The neigh after they neigh. That's like when the horses do they neigh. That mean, woo, girl. Boy, I'm going to get Brother Tim wife, boy. Boy, I'm going to talk to him, boy. We going to swap these hoes out. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Something wrong with these people. Come on back to 1 Kings 22. Something wrong with these people. I don't care if they see it or not. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might hear be like, boy, I know this dude, how he like this here. He done went off on Israel heritage. That's a nasty bastard. Somebody ought to do it. Shouldn't nobody be picking up, I shouldn't be picking up my phone to hear no woman telling me, man, I'm part of a group, man, that's saying that it's all right to wife swap and they having orgies. There's no way in the world that I should hear that as a part of my day. Not from somebody professing to be in the body of a Mashiach. Not from somebody professing to be a purveyor of set-apart living. Not somebody around. That's all these niggas care about is to tell you Israel and who Esau is. But you can stick your dunk and stick in any cup of milk you want, and we don't care nothing about that type of stuff. We can do whatever. Stop. Where we start that? About verse 8. Come on down here to about verse 20. Excuse me. Pardon me. Well, let's look at verse 14. Well, let's look at verse 13, and let's look what he say. And the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, Behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. You see how the Lord say, I chose you out of the world? Because if you of the world will hear you. Ain't that what we just looked at? Is that not what we just looked at? But y'all got food in your mouth? You walking away from the phone? What the problem is? All right, come on now. I done told y'all, man, I ain't talking to myself. Shoot, I can do that on my own time. You say, Micaiah said, as Yahuwah live, what Yahuwah said unto me, that will I speak. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead the battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered, Go and prosper, for Yahuwah shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And the king said unto him, How many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of Yahuwah? And he said, I saw all Yasharal scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. And Yahuwah said, These have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Yasharal said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me but evil? So he just turned around and sat back and say, see, I told you he wouldn't tell me what I wanted to hear. I told you. Now we know he ends up sending a lying spirit to the mouth of this man prophets. They end up smacking this man around. And what does the king of Yasharal end up doing? What does he end up doing, y'all? Who knows what he ends up doing? What does the king end up doing, gentlemen? Hush, Lizzie. What does the king end up doing, y'all? Come on, man. Tighten up, y'all. Y'all should know this. What do the king... You got the king of Yasharal and you got the king of Yehuda together, Jehoshaphat. Now, Jehoshaphat is coming up to help the king of Yasharal. It never states what the, in this particular chapter, what his name is. Now, the king of Yasharal says, should he go up? His prophets told him go. Micaiah told him not to go. What does the king of Yasharal end up doing? What does he end up doing? You know he went. And what happened to him when he went? He died. Y'all can read the chapter on your own too. We done looked at this stuff before. We'll look at verse 33 just so you can see the similitude of the Lord. We done looked at it a long time ago. We'll look at it again for those who ain't never heard it. Say it came to pass when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Yasharal, that they turned back from pursuing him. And it came to pass when the captain of the chariots perceived that it was, and a certain man drew a bow out of venture and smote the king of Yasharal between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of the chariot of his chariot, Turn thy hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. What are the two things should stand out from you from what you just heard, gentlemen? And what else? Say he was wounded, right? And this the king of Israel, right? And it said, listen to this here, and there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, every man to his city and every man to his own country. So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor, according to the word of Yahuwah, which he spake. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab and all that he did in the ivory house which he made, and all the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Yasharal? So Ahab slept with his fathers, and Isaiah his son reigned in his stead. So this is King Ahab. And why is King Ahab important, everybody? Who remember what King Ahab did? Y'all don't remember what King Ahab did? I bet some of these women sitting there with a look on their face, they know what King Ahab did. You brothers don't know what King Ahab did. I'm sitting here telling y'all now, I won't be saying this for no reason, boy. These women, I can tell that when we be in person, these women be knowing the answers to these questions. You know what I'm saying? You brothers need to sit back and start assessing. These women should not be sharper than you. And I guarantee you that these women will tell you the same thing, that they should not be sharper than you. And if these women are sharper than you, and you sitting back looking at that, maybe you want to court or marry one of these women, and these women know they sharper in the word than you are, what makes you think that woman would allow you to lead her? Now you ask yourself that, and you let that resonate in your brain, that these women be sitting here and they be knowing the answers to this stuff. And y'all don't. Y'all don't realize that that is not good. And that's not to downgrade the women for being sharp. Honestly, I applaud that. But they should not be sharper than y'all. So again, none of you brothers know why is King Ahab important? Who is he? Oh man. Y'all don't know who king. He ain't no king of Judah. He just told you what king he was. I just told you that. He's not no king of Judah. Ahab. You don't know about Ahab? Who was Ahab's wife? You know who his wife was? His wife was Jezebel. So what did King Ahab do then? He the one that rode with that vineyard and followed behind his wife and went ahead and got down with that when she did all that wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Now what y'all just noticed, the king Ahab, what ends up happening to him? He gets hit in his side like the Lord, he got wounded like the Lord, and he died at when? The going down of the sun. Just like the Lord. Looking at him that he's a king, and what did it say up on the accusation with the Lord? This is the king of Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? King of Yasharal, nevertheless. But his downfall was, I'm going to do what I want to do, even after I heard the truth. Look at Deuteronomy 32 and 17, and after that, get you 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 and about verse 13. That's what y'all had to sit back and look at, what a lot of y'all don't consider. Y'all get told not to do stuff, and you still go do it anyway. How you think good gonna come from that? After the fact, get your Romans chapter 3. With that, before we get 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, get your Romans 3 and 3. That's what some of y'all problem is. Y'all think you can do wrong and get good out of it. How stupid can you be? 32 and 17. He said they sacrificed unto devils, not to Elohim, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and have forgotten Elohim that formed thee. And when Yahuwah saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, sons in whom is no faith. If y'all know what the word froward mean, or froward, y'all know what that word mean? Anybody know what it means? Go ahead. You take a stab at it. Man, y'all got to stop worrying about being wrong. No matter. Just go on whatever comes to your head. Just go on, let it flow. But it actually means a froward individual is somebody who is stubbornly, rebelliously contrary. Meaning they are buck. You know what I'm saying? No matter what information come up, no matter what I'm told, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say. Man, you all right. Man, that nigga ain't hurt. Come on. 3 and 3, Romans. Stop. Hush, you all right. You ain't hurt. Because remember, look at what he's telling them. You stubbornly say you provoke me to jealousy, worshiping other gods, when I specifically told you not to do it. But you went and did it anyway. I told you don't go do this, and you went and did it anyway. I told you don't do this, and you went and did it anyway. And that's how some of y'all are. You get told not to do stuff, and you go do it anyway. If you told not to do something, that means it can't be good for you. But you just like Ahab. I'm going to go up anyway. I don't like him because he speak evil concerning me. He don't never say what I want to hear. Leave it alone, Elizabeth. 3 and 3 of Romans. He say, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Elohim without effect? Elohim forbid, yea, let God be true. But every man a liar, as it is written, that thou might be justified in thy sayings, and might overcome when thou art judged. You just seen that in 1 Kings 22. Because he said, only tell me what y'all say. And he put a lying spirit in all the mouth of his prophets. He said, let the Most High be true and every man be a liar. Micaiah told him what was going to happen. He was going to go up there and die, but he didn't want to believe it. So you think because he didn't want to believe what that prophet said that I was going to make this man's word not affect? No, you still going to die. That's what y'all don't sit back and look at. If the Lord tell you don't do this or don't do that, or the man of God tell you don't do this or don't do that, and you still go in that direction, you think that's going to be of none effect what you were told was going to happen if you went and did it? You think that's going to change because that's what you want? That shows that your mind is dangerous. He says, but if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of God, what shall we say? Is God unrighteous who take vengeance? I speak as a man. God forbid, how shall God judge the world? For if the truth of God have more abounded through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner? And not rather as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil, that good may come, whose damnation is just. Now, didn't Ahab were told that don't do this? You know what I'm saying? I don't like this man because he speak evil concerning me. And even though he do evil, he thought good was going to come. The same way they did evil to try to take this man's vineyard, and you thought good was going to come. How is that possible? How is that possible? How is that possible? How do you sit back and think that you going, this is what these niggas is teaching these women. Come over here to Ezekiel 22 and about verse 25. That's what these niggas around here telling these women. Oh, let us do evil that good might come. So we can have orgies and threesomes and get freaky and do all this type of stuff and good might come. We still going to get 1 Thessalonians chapter 2. But get you Ezekiel 22 about verse 25. Y'all have to sit back and look at that, man. You don't want to be self-willed. You don't want to be doing what you want to do. You ought to be doing what the Lord tell you to do. 22 and 25. He said, there is a conspiracy of our prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. He said, and her priests have violated my law and profaned my Kodesh things. They put no difference between the Kodesh and the profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profaned among them. Now, what you think that means? And get you Matthew chapter 7 while we at it. What y'all think that could mean? I'm talking about two ways now. Sit back and think. What y'all think that could mean? Don't be scared. Come on. Come on, Troy. Okay, but listen to what he said now. I want y'all to listen again now. He said her priests have violated my law in verse 26. And they profane my set apart things. They ain't put no difference between what is set apart and what's common. They ain't showed no difference between what's clean and what's dirty. He said they even hid their eyes from my Sabbath. I'm common among them. Matter of fact, let's just read 27. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves, ravening the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. What you think that could mean? Because that sister also told me that brother around here telling these, badgering these people, talking about make an offering. You got to make your offering by the end of the month to keep the sinners open. And she say the sinners that's supposed to be places of worship, he living in them. Say they don't keep nobody, don't know where their money going. Say the man stealing all these people's stuff. But you got to sit back and look at it. Let's see how they violated this law. How y'all think they violated this law? How y'all think they did that? Talk to me now. How you think they violated this law? Anybody got an idea? Come over here and look in Zephaniah chapter 1 real fast. Make sure this is what I want. It's actually Zephaniah chapter 3. Zephaniah 3 and 3. He say her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They know not the bones till the morrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. So it's telling you again, it say the priests have polluted the house, did violence to the law, and they violated the law. How did they do this, gentlemen? Because I'm sitting there telling you, you know you a light and treacherous person. You naying after your neighbor. Why? Talking about wife swapping. Well, let's look at John 1:14 and maybe we'll get a little idea. John 1:14, maybe we'll get a little idea. It said, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory. The glories of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So we sit back and see the law was made flesh. So if they violated the law, and they did violence to the law, how did they do it? They killed the Lord. They killed him. See, turn around and sit back and look how they violated the man. Look in John 18. Let's sit back and look how they violated the man. Man ain't did nothing wrong. We gonna violate him. We gonna make him common. They made the man and sit back. He died the death of a common thief. John 18 and 28. Then they led Yahushua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early. And they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they may eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them and said, what accusation bring you against this man? They answered and said unto him, if he were not a malefactor, we would have not delivered him up unto thee. Then said Pilate unto them, take ye him and judge him according to your law. The Yahudim therefore said unto him, it is not lawful for us to put any man to death, that the saying of Yahushua might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying his death, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Yahushua and said unto them, art thou the king of the Yahudim? Yahushua answered him, saying, thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it of thee of me? Pilate answered, am I a Yahudim? Thy own nation and chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Oh, man. Who delivered him to Pilate? Who brought him? The chief priests. So that means they had to violate this man's law then, didn't they? They had to violate it. That means they say his Kodesh things, they had to make it common. They took this man and hung him up on a tree like a common criminal. They said if he weren't a malefactor. Don't you know a malefactor ain't nothing but a rebel, a criminal, a sinner? This is what they did to the Lord now. Now we turn around, look at you, get your Matthew chapter 7 real fast. He said, you already should know how her princes in the midst like wolves to shed blood and destroy souls to get dishonest gain. Their whole thing is they didn't want to lose their place in nation with the Romans. They say it would get dishonest gain. That means you using deceit and lies. They went and got false witnesses and all these things using deceit to take this man down. Using lies to do it. to shed innocent blood, which we know is an abomination before Yah, do we not? But look what the Lord told you about in Matthew chapter 7. That's why I say y'all better watch these people. Y'all should know, boy, if I go to talking crazy and reckless, you ought to get missing. Around here talking about that crazy, nasty type stuff. Man, you ain't supposed to be, these people around here using to sit back and say, if you leave the congregation, you going against Yah. Say, I ain't going against Yah, I'm going against wickedness. You get your Ezekiel chapter 14, go along with that. Don't let nobody ever, don't come across nobody that intimidates you with nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's stuff that's going on that ain't right, you supposed to get from around that ain't. You ain't supposed to be sitting around, oh yeah, boy, he said you can have 3, 4 wives and you stay there. Shoot, man, I don't want to turn my back on y'all. Don't you realize y'all can't be there? You know what I'm saying? Don't y'all realize when he said pollute my sanctuary, don't you know when you die you made unclean? When they killed the man, the sanctuary, the house was made dirty. Don't you realize when you walking in iniquity and you walking in sin, that's why Paul told you, he that defile the temple of the Most High will destroy it. You can't be around here polluting this man's sanctuary. You can't be around here polluting this man's house. That man gonna take that down. So you got to watch that type of stuff. But if I'm sitting around here telling, yeah, man, y'all can wife swap. It ain't nothing that brother and sister such and such want to, you know what I'm saying, swing. Oh, man, one of the brothers came, man, you know, he asked me to go down on his wife. Should I do it? And I say, yeah, go on ahead and do it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, that ain't, don't you realize this man is teaching these people they can do this, that he's not making no difference between what's clean and what's unclean? What's set apart and what's not set apart. And if you didn't realize when he said they hid their eyes from my Shabbat, from my rest, that means they turn their eyes from the Lord and say, man, y'all can go on and kill him, crucify him, crucify him. They cover their eyes to their wickedness. You got to make sure you ain't covering your eyes to this man rest by sitting back doing what you want to do. Sitting back saying, you know what, even though I see, I'm going to turn my head and give him my back, give him my butt to kiss. I'm going to do what I want. 7 and 15. Matthew. Then we'll get 1 Thessalonians 2 and 13. I got 2 points to hit. They might be longer than I want them. If I don't get both, I'll get one. It says, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but are inwardly are ravening wolves. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bring forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bring forth evil fruit. And a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bring not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. Do y'all think that's good fruit if a man telling you you can wife swap? You think that's good fruit if a man telling a woman she can go down on another woman? What y'all think? That mean, according to this word, it ain't no way possible this man can ever do righteousness. No way possible. Don't you think that's corrupt? So you think it's possible for him to bring forth good fruit then? Get you Ezekiel 14. If it ain't possible, and about verse 7. If it ain't possible for him to bring forth good fruit, then guess what that means? Lord ain't with him. So if a man was to come at you and say you turning your back on Yah, if you tried to leave, you could look him in the face and be like, nigga, I know you lying. Because that's straight cult tactics right there. You don't tell nobody that nothing like that right there. To try to keep them there because you doing wrong. So you got to try to shame them. Nigga say, I ain't talked to you in 6 months. I remember a girl I knew told me when it came around tax time, the preacher of the church she used to go to called to talk about asking her how she doing. I ain't heard from you in a while. I say, now all of a sudden you think I'm finna get some money. You calling me because you trying to see how I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? This nigga coming out getting exposed for doing all type of ungodly acts. Now you calling a woman, leaving voice messages. What's going on? You ain't deleted me, have you? Nasty bastard. He say, for everyone of the house of Yasharal or the stranger that sojourn in Yasharal will separate himself from me and set up his idols in his heart and put the stumbling block of iniquity before his face and come to a prophet to inquire of me, him concerning me, I, Yahuwah, will answer him by myself. And I will set my face against that man and I will make him a sign and a proverb, and I will cut him off from the midst of my people, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah. And the prophet, and if the prophet be deceived when he hath spoken a thing, I, Yahuwah, have deceived that prophet. And I will stretch my hand upon him, and will destroy him from the midst of my people Yasharah. And they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seek unto him. So don't you realize, you heard what this man just said? If the prophet be deceived, Yah deceived him. So if this man want to believe that he can do all these things, then guess who put that lie in his head? Because that's what he wanted to do. The Lord did it. And anybody who listened to him, guess who deceived that person? 1 Thessalonians 2 and 13. That's what I mean when I tell you, boy, the Lord will give you the exact mind that you want to have. You want to have that mind? He'll give you that mind. He'll let you go right on ahead and do it and let you crash. So somebody can look at you and say, you know what? 2 Thessalonians 2 and 10, pardon me. You can learn a lot from a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't realize you can learn a lot from a dummy. Look, you think you learn a lot from a dummy? Y'all think y'all can learn a lot from a dummy? Two and 10 of 2 Thessalonians. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. Just like King Ahab didn't receive the love of the truth, that's why he died. And for this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusions that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. Do you all see how serious that is? That this man allow you, the only reason why this man gonna allow you to believe a lie is because you didn't have a love for the truth when you heard it. And some of y'all can sit back and you might not acknowledge it right here at this time in the open. But y'all know y'all been told things or shown things that you should not do, or go ways that you should not go, and you went ahead and did it anyway because you didn't have a love for the truth. You didn't have a love for, yet let Yah's will be done. You had a love for, let my will be done. Let me do what I want to do. And then when the stuff blow up in your face, you either don't want nobody to know it blew up in your face, or you think somebody ought to feel sorry for you when it blow up in your face. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, so some of y'all wasn't present, but y'all already know when that young woman went and married that dude. You know what I'm talking about? Don't come to me looking for sympathy and you did something stupid, because you're not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because when she did that, she thought she was going to get some sympathy when you had been warned. You know what I'm talking about? And you had been told, don't do that because this what's going to happen. Did it happen and you come back looking like, oh, ain't no hugs and no pats on the head. I will shame you, you stupid, idiotic fool. You the dummy. You know what I'm saying? Just like when we would like this here, anytime you hear me say this line right here, we talking about soul, man. You know what I'm saying? When he was like, I seen that dog food, and he say, where the dog? You the dog, nigga. You saying? That's the whole point of sitting back looking at it. No, you the dummy. Because you got a bowl full of dog food in here. Ain't no dog because you eating it. You know what I'm saying? And you want me to have some type of sympathy or sorrow for you. So that's just so y'all know, if you hear me say that, you the dog, nigga. That's where that come from. Because you can't watch the movie now. Because you know Bernie Mac in that movie. And Samuel L. Jackson in that movie. So you already know. It's cussing 9,000. But if you ever seen that movie, and you seen that scene, you know what I'm talking about. And it was hilarious. You know what I'm saying? The whole scene, I'm not going to lie to you. The whole scene was hilarious. It was hilarious. He coming out, he see the dog, he like, where the dog? He talking about he hiding under the bed. You better be lucky he ain't come out here and bite you. And he said, I see a pantry full of dog food, I don't see no dog. He said, that nigga Bernie Mac say, of course he didn't use them words. He said, you the dog. You the dog. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's what ends up happening. You be in a bad spot, and you in it because Samuel L. Jackson character was in a bad spot because he was stupid. You know what I'm saying? And now you in a bad spot eating dog food, which for all the dog food he had, he could have bought some real food. You know what I'm talking about? You in a bad spot, you want somebody to feel sorry for you. But if it's a self-inflicted wound because of your own stupidity, And you were already warned not to follow your own stupidity, like King Ahab was warned not to follow his own stupidity, and then you fall in a mess of your own doing, ain't no feeling sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling y'all, man, y'all got to learn how to have a little force. I know things may not always fall how you want them, but you got to get out ahead of stuff. You got to see stuff come so that type of stuff don't happen. You know what I'm saying? You have to get your stuff lined up. Because when stuff happened, when you knew that this situation could arise and you could have did something to prevent it, you know what I'm talking about? Ain't nobody going to feel sorry for you because you just an idiot. Because you knew this and you just disregarded it because I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? When you know I need to do this. You know what I'm talking about? That's the same thing happen when somebody tell you not to do something, or I tell you not to do something, or the Lord show you not to do something by whatever means he show it to you, and you go do it in it, you don't have a love for the truth. Because somebody tell you something, 99.9% of the time they telling you that because it's for your own good. You know what I'm saying? It's for your benefit. It's not to poke or pick, or because they know this what you want to do and they just don't want you to do it. You know what I'm talking about? I already see what the end gonna be. That's why he said, I'll turn my face from them and let them see what the end gonna be. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's what you want to do? Well, I already know how it's gonna play out. Go ahead and do it. Let's see what's gonna happen to you. And you know what ends up happening to you? You come back around, Lord, help me, please. I helped you when I told you not to do it, you fool. But you had to be stupid. You had to go do it anyway. You had to be the smart one. You had to try to seek your own will. How are you going to have the mind of a Mashiach seeking your own will and not his will? You know what I'm saying? Don't make no sense. It just don't make no sense. Come on over here to Romans chapter 1, verse 28. And this one thing that I mentioned in John 15, when he say, if you seen me, you hated me and my Father. It was something me and one of my brother in Detroit were talking about, and we got to hit that, and we're going to hit that, and we'll end it with that. It was a thing I was going to talk to y'all about. Y'all will I talk to you with about it on the Sabbath. Matter of fact, it'll be better for me to do it then. Make it 1 and 24. It'll be better for me to hit it on Shabbat. It'll be better for me to do it like that instead of tonight. But y'all got to have a little bit of sense, though. Make it 26. Matter of fact, I'll use 24. Romans 1 and 24. He said, wherefore Elohim also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. That's what ends up happening. Them people that what I'm telling y'all about in this congregation, I say it again, Israelite heritage. I don't care if they hear about it. You can tell them I said it. I could care less. Because one thing about me, if I can say it when you ain't present, I tell it to you to your face. You know what I'm talking about? It don't make no difference. Because I ain't got no business getting no phone call telling me about no nigga around here teaching this congregation to wife swap and have orgies and to commit lesbianism. Yeah, I'm going to call him out. And you know what his name is? You know what his name is? The nigga name is Obadiah Israel. That's the nigga's name. You know what I'm saying? That ain't his real name. I don't know what his real name is. Because if I knew what his real name is, I call his real name like Cameron did with 50 Cent when they were beefing and just kept calling him Curtis all the time. You know what I'm saying? Curtis. If I knew his real name, I'd call his real name. Pastor, if you know his real name, you can text it to me right now. I call his real name. If you know his whole name, I call it. I don't care. One thing about it, nigga can't whoop me. That's how I feel about it. He said, wherefore Elohim also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own body between themselves, who changed the truth of Elohim into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. So be it. For this cause Elohim gave them up unto vile affections. For even the woman did change the natural of use into that which is against nature. This is what they teaching. They telling the woman it's all right to do this because this your sister wife. This is not nature. How is it nature for a woman to put her tongue on another woman's vagina? How is that going with nature? How did this work? How are they going to be able to reproduce bumping vaginas? See, after a while, I figure this egg will get fertilized if we keep hitting each other hard enough. He said, also likewise the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. Now, I'm going to tell you something. They ain't telling me this happening. But these old butt naked niggas around here swinging their penis around each other, doing all that type of freaky stuff. It's somebody around there gay. You know what I'm talking about? Then how these dudes be talking about black women all the time? How they go off on women? Ain't nowhere in the world you gonna tell me some of them niggas ain't gay. Some of you brothers know what I'm talking about, how these dudes be talking about women all the time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the black woman, she's a low down dirty dog. The black woman ain't this, the black woman ain't that. Well, nigga, do you like booty? Because last time I checked, a woman is the most beautiful creation that God ever made. You know what I'm talking about? How I'm going to sit around here talking about a woman ain't this and that, hanging with dudes all day? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all realize how that looked if you bashing women all the time? Not just sitting back trying to give perspective on people on certain things so they can get some understanding. You know what I'm talking about? But just going off on women, the black woman she's a stubborn hoe. The black woman don't listen. The black woman can't cook. The black woman I'm talking about a nappy-headed nigga. Like, that's how some of these dudes talk, using some of the most foul, disrespectful, rotten language you can think of. And while you saying all this, all I see is you hanging with a bunch of dudes. So it's only two things gonna come to my mind. Either you like white women or you niggas gay. What you brothers think? Because that's what's gonna come to my mind. Either you like white women or somebody's gay. Because I can't see no heterosexual male talking about no woman like that. He like women. You know what I'm saying? I might not. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, I don't care who they use. I think a lot of them niggas, when them cameras off, these niggas around here talking about, let's play tag in the shower. They around here doing what Jerry Sandusky did, trying to play with them little, like he was playing with them kids in the shower. Because you already supposed to know, they supposed to swung. Hold on, Mr. Sandusky. Hold on, Mr. Sandusky. Nobody plays these type of games in the South, sir. We are both naked here, sir. We are both naked. Why are you coming over here to the next show? Why? I'm telling you. Stuff just don't be right. A lot of these niggas is crazy. I don't know where they find these niggas at. They better send them back. Look at the next thing he say. And even as they did not like to retain Elohim in their knowledge, Elohim gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. And that's what I was telling y'all about. That's what you seen with Ahab, right? That's the same thing you seen with King Saul. Because King Saul did not retain what the Most High told him to do. That's why I be telling y'all about paying attention. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all be off in la-la land. You think about what you're going to do after we get finished. You think about what you're going to eat, this, that, there, and the other. That means you're not paying attention. That means that knowledge don't get retained. And when you don't retain that knowledge, you end up getting your mind turned over to do what you want to do. And when you end up getting turned over to do what you want to do, you're going to perish, just like Ahab did. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to pay attention. Because that man say, because you did not like to retain in your knowledge. That man will give you, you know what the word reprobate mean, right? Y'all know what that word means? Not only just that, it means worthless, castaway. 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 Look at Jeremiah. And then we'll look at Deuteronomy chapter 6. I got to shut it down. Jeremiah 9, if I'm not mistaken. It might be Jeremiah 6 that I'm thinking about, actually. Jeremiah 6 and verse 28. They are all grievous revolters, walking with slanders. They are brass and iron, they're all corrupters. The bellows are burnt, the lead is consumed of the fire, the founder melt in vain, for the wicked are not plucked away. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because Yahuwah have rejected them. When you sit back and you look at it, you think y'all is stamping a nigga talking about wife swapping? Lesbianism? We already told you it's another Hebrew congregation coming out. They say they're making the women marry people who they don't want to marry. They beating the women, and they doing the same thing that they say they doing in this congregation over here, trying to make the people think they going against God if they leave. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell nobody you going against God because you leave. You want to leave? Good day to you. You know what I'm saying? Good day to you. You know what I'm talking about? That's on you, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's on you. I would already have ascertained to know if you a hypocrite and this ain't, you know what I'm talking about? Most people, when they leave from a group, man, and they ain't doing something that they ain't got no business. Most people leave because they doing stuff they ain't got no business, and they got to try to come up with a means to justify their departure. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, they doing this over here, they doing that. But nigga, what about all that stuff you were doing though? You know what I'm saying? And they'll try to slide and get down with somebody else as if, you know what I'm saying, the issue wasn't with the group versus the issue was with them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just be sour. You know what I'm saying? Be having ulterior motives and stuff they be pulling. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all don't see it. Just like how we look how he said the dude Jason was joined hard to that synagogue. You remember we read that in Acts? When you look at a lot of Hebrews, boy, they go from congregation to congregation. Same way you seen when y'all was in the Christian church. People go church to church. You know what I'm saying? That means they sitting back and they looking for a spot that's going to allow them to do whatever it is that they trying to do. You know what I'm saying? When you come across something where these people are not allowing you to do whatever they against it, then you either going to get in line with it or you going to pretend just long enough so you can stay there. You know what I'm saying? I tell you like this here, man, you're going to do something, just do it. Deuteronomy 6 and 4. If you're going to be a sinner, be a sinner. If you're going to walk in the word, walk in the word. We already seen according to the law and according to the word of Mashiach, he going to spit you out in mouth. Y'all all right? Y'all follow me? Deuteronomy 6 and 3. And it says, hear therefore, O Yasharal, observe to do it, that it might be well with thee, that you might increase mightily, as Yahuwah Elohim of thy fathers have promised thee, in the land that flow with milk and honey. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our Elohim is one Yahuwah. And thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Now we're zeroing in on verse 4. I say me and a brother sat down, had a conversation with this, researched the information myself to verify what we were discussing, and now we will present it. When you hear the word, when you hear this verse 4, it says, hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our Elohim is one Yahuwah. Does any of you brothers, I know Troy and Corey probably know, maybe even Brother Sean probably know too. Do y'all know in Hebrew the word, that word one, you know what word is supposed to be right there? Would be right there? Tell them again, Troy. And God. Y'all know what that word, well, tell them what the word means, Troy. Basically, it means unification. Unification. Now come over here to Isaiah 43. It means unification, because the reason why I'm looking at this is it's already in my mind to talk to y'all about this. And then we already mentioned it when he said, if you hate me, you hate my Father also. If Hamashiach's telling you, if you hate me, you hate my Father, ain't he telling they pretty much one? Because you can't love one and hate the other. And you can't hate one and love the other. You either love both or you hate them both. Ain't no in between. But the reason why we looking at it is for them wicked niggas who try to say the Lord is false. Now, Isaiah 43 and 11, listen to what it says. It says, I, even I, am Yahuwah, and beside me there is no Savior. He said, I have declared and have saved and have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore you are my witnesses, saith Yahuwah, that I am God, that I am Elohim. Yea, before the day was, I am he. There is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? You know, if he said he'll work and who shall let it, you know what that means? You know what that's saying? I'll work and who shall let it? Basically, I'll work, who gonna stop it? You know what I'm talking about? Now, do y'all know that this Isaiah 43, what this is actually pointing to? Do y'all know this? I know you should know. You might not remember. Because this something we looked at the town hall. So, you know, that's a long time ago. So if you don't, I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't get upset if you don't remember something from 8 months ago. You know what I'm saying? A year ago. For some of y'all, 2 years ago. For some of y'all, even 3. And that's a small number for 3. You know what I'm saying? But something from a couple weeks ago or a month ago, yeah, then you should retain that. You know, I know sometimes we got to bring stuff back to remember. But again, do any of y'all know? Do any of y'all know what this is actually prophesying of, what event this is prophesying of. Any of you brothers and sisters know? I know what I say. So I know y'all can't answer. I bet a couple of y'all skinning and grinning. Maybe you're not. Any of you brothers know what this is pointing to? What event? Well, he said, I have showed, I have declared and saved and have showed, and you are my witnesses. And before the day was, I am he. You know what he's saying? Before the day was, I am he. So what you think this means? Before the day was, I am he. Because in the beginning, the word was with God and the word was God. You know what I'm talking about? He said, let there be light. Before the first day was even made, Genesis chapter 1, before the first day was even made, he said, I am he. I'm slain from the foundation of the world. He said, before the earth was even founded, he said what? Hamashiach said, I was there. What he told you in Genesis chapter 1, he said, before the day was, I am he. In the beginning, Elohim created the Shamahim and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light that it was good, and Elohim divided the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. So before the day was, I am he. Hamashiach was there. He was there. So when he says there is no Savior with me, see, they sit right there and say, see, Jesus can't be, yo YAHUAH, yo Yahushua, he can't be no Savior. He didn't say that. He said there's no Savior with me. But remember, he said, YAHUAH, our power is one. He is Echad. He is unified. If something is unified, it is joined together as one. You understand what I'm telling you? This is why when we turn around and we look at this statement that the Lord makes in John chapter 17, let's go look at it. When we turn around and we look at this statement, what the Lord makes here. In John chapter 17, in verse 21. See, because they try to say you commit idolatry. Remember how we looked at last week talking about when they say don't bow down to no other gods and all that there? And they say, well, you serving Jesus, you serving Yahushua, you bowing down to another God. We show that's a lie. We ain't serving no other power. We serving the same power we've been serving. He says that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And the glory which thou gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, as we are one. I in them, and thou in me, that we may be made, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them, as thou hast loved me. So you keep noticing how he say they are one. Do you notice that when Hamashiach told these people in John chapter 10 that him and the Father were one, that they wanted to kill him because him being a man made himself what? They said he make himself equal with God, saying he was God. Because they would have known, because you got to understand something. If he's speaking to these people, what tongue was he speaking to them in? When Hamashiach is speaking to these people, what language is he speaking to them in? Huh? He's speaking to them in Hebrew. So don't you know if he tell them people, I and my Father are one, he told them I and my Father are unified? Do you not realize that when they hear that, that's going to take them right back to what? Deuteronomy chapter 6? And don't you think they're going to want to kill him for that? So don't you see how the priest is violating his law? Don't you see how the people want to do violence to his law? Because he telling them what the law say, and they telling him he wrong. So let's kill him for it. Let's make him common. Let's say he ain't nothing but let's just say he's a malefactor. Let's just say he's around here trying to cause sedation. They were trying to say that this man was trying to cause a riot or a rebellion against the Roman government. They tried to say the man was a blasphemer. They say he blasphemed. He say he the son of God. Remember what they said? He said, don't write that he said he the son of the Most High. Say that he said he was. And what Pilate told him? I wrote what I wrote. You know what I'm saying? Also look at this here, right? If you are the begotten of, if a man has a son, is he not one with his son because they share the same DNA, the same blood? The same genetic makeup. Because he come and he emanates out from me. We're unified together by one common cause, which is we share the same blood. You know what I'm saying? This how dumb these niggas is. Now, what I was telling y'all with Isaiah 43:2, that point to Pentecost. Because remember, you got Peter, and you got Cephas, and all the other apostles, and what were they doing? They were declaring that he saved then, didn't they? You remember that now? You remember he was declaring that he was the Savior. That he the one came to redeem you. Remember in Acts chapter 13, Paul said he gave them a Savior, YAHUAH. You know what I'm saying? To show you, ain't no Savior next to the Father and the Son, because the Father and the Son are one. That's why he made that statement, if they hated me, they hated my Father also, because we are one. You know what I'm saying? That's why he said, if you seen me, you seen the Father, because we are Echad, we are one, we are unified, we are joined. But this how stupid niggas is. You know what I'm saying? Because of their hatred for the Son. That's why he say, he that despise not man, but God. Because when you turn around and you look at Matthew 3, the Lord ends up getting the Spirit come on him. You know what I'm talking about? When he's immersed by John. These people hated him because of that. They didn't hate him because he was a man. They hated him because of the word that he spoke and the lifestyle that he kept. That's why he said if they hated you, the world don't hate you, they hate me because I testify of it that his deeds are evil. Why do you think men hate those who stand out and preach against sin? Because they testifying against them that their deeds are evil. Thank the Lord. I almost let that slip because I told Link I was going to work this in before we get out of here. You know the lady in Kentucky, right? She goes to jail for not marrying homosexuals, right? Now I'm going to tell y'all something. Dude in the gym say, see, she should just do her job because there's separation of church and state, right? She trying to push her Christian beliefs on people. If I say I ain't marrying no punks, I ain't pushing my belief on you. I'm telling you what I'm not going to do. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care if you think it's cool for them to be punk. I ain't even said nothing to you. Of course, she would say, I ain't said nothing to you about Jesus. I just said what I ain't going to do. You know what I'm saying? And like I told Link, I'm going to tell y'all, what people do is it's an intimidation factor to get you to compromise. You understand what I'm telling you? Oh, you gotta conform, you got to do this. But I'm going to show you somebody who went against the government for God's word, who was a government official. Let's look at Daniel chapter 6. So don't let somebody tell you just because you in an official capacity or a government capacity that you got to separate the word from the state. Because he talking about if she don't agree with it, why she don't quit? Why she gotta quit? I don't agree with it. I ain't doing it. Look at Daniel chapter 6 and 1. I just want y'all to see his position. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the president and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Don't you realize if Daniel is a president, don't he got a government office? Huh? Somebody take their speakerphone off too. Don't he got a government office? See, now, so you know that's a United States thing, separation of church and state. What that means is that the state cannot sanction a particular religion. You know what I'm saying? They can't sanction Islam. They can't sanction Christianity. They can't sanction Buddhism. They can't sanction Hinduism. That's all that means. You know what I'm saying? That means that anything that take public funds, they cannot do that. Don't let these people, see, people so ignorant of the law, they don't. That does not pertain to a private citizen. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to quit my job because I don't agree with this policy. I don't have to do it because, oh, that's the law of the land. I can go against the law of the land if it contradicts God's word. You know what I'm saying? I can go against that. So y'all have to sit back and look at that if any of y'all ever get in those situations. Because they're going to try to bombard you to get you to conform. The same way T was telling me how they came at her on her job about the vaccines. You know what I'm saying? And all this type of stuff. They bully you with this stuff to make you feel bad about yourself because you're not conforming. You know what I'm saying? If you decided to homeschool your kids and you went to the, you know what I'm saying, the public school system in there to get with the information you need to do it, they would try to bully you and shame you to get you to put your kids in a school system. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know they're missing out on, we ain't missing out on nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's their tactic though. Because they don't like for people who don't conform. You know what I'm saying? So we got to attack you to make you feel bad about yourself for not conforming. I meant to talk to y'all about this a little bit. I talk about it, y'all will on Shabbat. Same way niggas who Israelites who come in and they become vegans, they try to bully people to get them to conform to stop eating meat. You know what I'm saying? They do the same thing. Just like you might have some people who eat meat try to bully vegans to eat meat. You know what I'm saying? Try to make them feel bad. You can't do people like that if that's the choice that they want to make. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have to realize that, and I'm gonna talk to y'all about that a little more, because the reason being, because it was somebody on my timeline about a week or so ago say she got sick from eating meat, and then they posted some stuff up here, and y'all gotta understand something. You're not sinning if you eat it. You're not sinning if you don't eat it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't offend my brother if he don't eat it. I ain't gonna offend my brother if he do eat it. I'm telling y'all this to be careful, because the books speak on people who teach people to abstain from meat. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful if you decide you want to eliminate that, to really truth be told, keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or if somebody asks you, well, why you stop, you state your case. Because y'all don't realize people might read in more of what you saying. You know what I'm talking about? And been done took that you saying it's unlawful or sinful to eat it. Or you could mess around and been done said what y'all made for good is evil. You know what I'm talking about? Because ain't nothing wrong with eating meat. It's what these people do to it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong. A lot of the stuff that we consume, it's nothing wrong with the item. It's what these devilish bastards do to it. You know what I'm saying? That means you have to be a little bit more diligent on certain stuff that you purchase. You know what I'm talking about? Know where it come from. You might have to spend a couple extra dollars. You know what I'm talking about? That's the same way we telling you know full well can't be no real beef and no McDonald's hamburger, no triple cheeseburger is 99 cents. That means in all intents and purposes you just ate 3,000 different cows. Because they say it's 1,000 different cows in one patty. Possibly. Up to. You know what I'm saying? Now I tell you, I wouldn't eat that. You know what I'm talking about? Not myself. We know, man, I done seen all type of stuff. Burger King get caught selling horse meat. You know what I'm talking about? Read a couple years back how in some vanilla products they use beaver secretions. You know what I'm talking about? When I read that, I'm like, shoot, man. You know, I like vanilla shakes. Made me like, do I even want to purchase one? But I'm telling y'all this here because, you know, Lil Muffin, I was talking to Lil Muffin about it. You know, you could get in a panic attack. You go to researching this stuff and you'll find out, man, you can't eat nothing unless you grow it up or raise it yourself. So you have to make sure you keep yourself under control. You know what I'm talking about? Because we live in an unclean place. The man told you in the book of Ezekiel, they shall eat defiled bread in the defiled land. And unfortunately, that's just what's happening. Because these people are vile. They are disgusting. They do not serve Yah. They have no caring of what they put in their body whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? They don't care nothing about. If you know a group of people that eat raw meat, you know they don't care nothing about what they'll put in the product. I will tell you this here. A lot of the stuff that's in our food over here, that stuff is illegal overseas. You know what I'm saying? You go to a lot of countries in Europe and all that type of stuff, man, the stuff you see in the ingredients that be in our food, that stuff don't be in theirs. And you know why that stuff don't be in there? Because you niggas like stuff cheap. See, y'all like the, you know what I'm saying? You like a deal. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things, especially with black people, mess y'all up because y'all always looking for a deal. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes it just better go ahead and spend that change, man. Because sometimes you get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? You get what you pay for. It ain't just with food now. Sometimes you get what you pay for. But you gotta be careful with that, man. On stuff that you convey. Because it's in our law you can eat meat now. It's slap that in there. Y'all do know that, right? See, they tell you that wasn't the original way of y'all. It was plants. But if the man come back around in the same law and say, look here, man, you can eat that, then what that tell you? That means it's good then, ain't it? So you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that. And everything you do, you got to be wise. You understand what I'm saying? So we see Daniel as president. Let's drop on down to about verse 5. Let's look what these people do. Then said these men, we shall not find occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his power. Then the president and princes assembled to the king, and thus said unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, and the governors, and the princes, and the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and make a firm decree, that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. So you just realize, some of y'all seen the picture that I put up. Just because the government makes sin legal, don't make it right. You know what I'm saying? If they just said that you can't petition any other god but the king, that's idolatry. You know what I'm talking about? They just made sin legal. They said make a royal statute. So they just made sin legal. Y'all understand that, right? Do y'all see that? A government official is in a position and they just made sin legal. And they say if they do it, throw them in jail. You know what I'm talking about? Let's see what Daniel do. He say, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of Medes or Persians, which alter not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in the chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power as he did aforetime. I don't care what your law say. I ain't going against y'all's law when y'all say pray towards Jerusalem morning, evening, and noon, and I'll hear you. Huh? Do you see that? This man is a government official. Same thing with Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. They were government officials. He told them to bow down to an idol. Just because you make sin legal, sir, don't mean I'm going to do it. Just because you make sin legal does not mean that I'm going to do that. And they in captivity just like we are. Now, we know this was a heathen. And she's a hypocrite because she going to marry adulterous people, though. She going to get somebody their second, third marriage license for them. She just ain't with the punks and the lesbos. But if you ain't with the punks and the lesbos, don't be with the adulterers either. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, Revelation 2 and 10. So don't let these people sit back and tell me ain't no separation, no church and state. Not to know Yahudim, ain't no separation. I stand on y'all's word 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And let's see if Daniel and Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah felt like this here. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. And you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that have an ear, let him hear. What the Ruach say unto the synagogues, he that overcomes shall not be hurt of the second death. We'll stop it right here because it's 9:36. Praise ye Yah for Yahushua HaMashiach and the word. Y'all understood all this stuff? Y'all will. It's a lot of stuff that we're going to lead into on Shabbat because we got about 3-4 days. You know what I'm saying? We got 3 times to go. Twice on the Shabbat and once on the high Shabbat for trumpets. You know what I'm talking about? But praise the Lord. Y'all all right?